On today's episode of Watch Jericho, we are here with my 2011 Dodge Durango, the beautiful green Durango. And today, we're gonna do a factory recall on it. What is going on, guys? I am Watch Jericho, and today, like I said, I am here with Tyler Potter, a Dodge technician, of course, Josh, the Fractured Rooster. We've been out doing Mustang things for a while here. And in the last video where I showed buying this car, there were some comments. And these comments took me from real happy about my purchase to worried sick really, really fast. When you're trying to list your car on Turo, it checks the VIN. And that VIN check includes, like, I think it checks for salvage and branded titles. And if you lie to them about that and they list the car and anything ever happens, you're completely out of luck. Like, their insurance doesn't cover anything. But they also check for recalls. And there was an open recall on this that I didn't know about when I bought it, unfortunately. Of course, it's not a critical recall. It's not the Takata airbag repo. That's like the only one that's critical anymore.
Right.
Is if something's going to explode out of the airbag and you're going to have a bad day. So the dealership said that there's a lot of recalls where they can just sell the car anyway and it'll get fixed at a later date. So that's what ended up happening to this. It was the fuel pump relay recall, which is super common. It's like every 11 through 13, something, I think.
Yeah, yeah. The fuel pump relay is actually internal on the circuit board on these. So instead of just a normal
relay that you could just pull out,
that you could pull out and replace, you've got a internal relay that is built onto the circuit board. So
I see.
Years before the recall came out, the only repair when these came into the dealership with a no start, because that's what happens when the recall,
when it fails,
when the relay fails,
sure,
it will crank and not start because it has no fuel pump operation. So the repair before this recall and this kit was just to replace the TIPM, which is your totally integrated power module, and which is great if you were under warranty, because this is $600 to $900.
Wow.
So great if you're under warranty, but as these got older, they obviously ran out of warranty, and then people were not very happy about needing to replace this and probably got rowdy, and that's when a recall, and it is kind of a safety issue.
It is, because I mean, if something happens on the road, you're in traffic and all of a sudden you hit the start button and nothing happens,
right?
You know, that's the argument for that, for sure. But these comments, you guys all were like, there's like a 2-year wait list for these recalls across the US, and your dealer will not be able to get a relay. And I was like, I bought this to make money. I did not buy this to drive or for me. Like, I need it to run right now. So, and I also need the recall cleared, which was the most important thing here. Well, we happen to have the recall kit here, and Tyler has done a few of them.
Done a few over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we are going to do the recall, and it's actually going to be like an officially done recall, and it'll clear it, and it should let me list this car. Now, Turo actually warns you and says that the NHTSA recall database might not update for 30 days.
Oof.
Wouldn't that be terrible? Oh, so I still might be out of luck with this thing I might be sitting on it for a month. Guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
So today, you guys get to see how to do the fuel pump recall on your 11 through 13, at least Durango, and probably a bunch of other platforms, right?
The recall is specifically on Durango and Grand Cherokee.
Okay,
but
Grand Cherokee too.
This exact same TIPM is also in Grand Caravans, Dodge Rams.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, and maybe shouldn't be saying this, but we do see those also go bad in those vehicles that weren't ever affected with the recall. So
interesting.
At least at the dealership, instead of when the customer comes in with a issue on that Caravan or Ram, instead of selling them at $900 TIPM, we will also do a similar repair, adding an external relay to save the customer hundreds of dollars, a few hours of labor to wire in that the relay and get them back on the road. So this could also be applied to your other Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge stuff that has had this happen.
And I'll post one of the comments. Obviously, you guys know the platform very well. You had I think it's an Omron relay, and you had the whole part number in there. So I'll try to repost that so that if anybody else needs to do this, you can do it yourself. But you know, you can have the dealer do it for free, which is awesome. And the dealer likes it because they get paid to do a recall.
Right, yep.
So,
and I would assume by now
Yeah.
there's surely write-ups on forms on obviously how to
Swap this
wire
out,
these
yeah.
in if guys have the part numbers out there. So
awesome. Well, today you get to see how it's done. Let's get to it. Everybody loved this. They were loving the LED resistors for the LED headlights in here to keep the bulb warning off. So we'll just go ahead and move that. Do you see that relay right there?
So this was there's been multiple recalls.
Okay.
This one has had a original first round of recalls done because we've already got the relay sitting here, but we've seen these relays fail. So the recalled relays that we've installed the first time, they've already failed. So we're now installing another round of recall relays, but these ones seem a little nicer, so
Okay, cool.
that's what we're doing.
Cool. And also we saw this inspection sticker from Germany with kilometers on there, and I don't know what that is. But anyway, Josh and Tyler both think that maybe somebody in the military shipped this thing overseas and then came back with it when they were done.
That would be my best guess.
Some of the other astute Dodge people were in the comments saying that the dealership gets one of those relays every 7 days or something like that.
It's now up to 2 relays
Two
every
relays.
7 days. So they've bumped us up to 2 every 7 days. So it's
Nice.
Yeah, there's a big huge backlog on getting them for customers, but we've got to get this one on the road. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna try to do something with this resistor here. So like Tyler said, this old relay from the first recall is coming out. So use your trim tool there and it'll just pop right off. And you can see there's all the wires to it. So this thing was originally sold in New York, and then apparently it went to someone in the Army based on the map here. We're looking at Google Maps. And just making some educated guesses, basically. Josh has been to the Army base, Grafavir, you said?
East Germany.
And this thing was, the fuel pump relay recall was done at Schneider's Auto Service in Konrad Ronchen Street 30, Oberplatz, Germany. So that's pretty wild.
minutes
that's
east of there.
very wild.
And it was
So,
serviced there twice. So this thing was in the U.S. It's a U.S. spec car.
New York car.
And shipped to Germany and then brought back here and serviced a bunch here in town,
Yeah.
actually.
That is kind of army green.
It is Army green. Pretty cool.
It's been around.
Well, yeah, maybe it's done more Autobahn cruising than any of the German cars we have around here. This thing's actually been driven around the world. All right, well, we went ahead and got the old relay off, obviously, and we're going to remount those resistors for the LEDs. And he's got the recipe here for this job. This is now close to the most interesting car I have, I think. This is one of the few that's been around the world. Cool.
Look, here's some German solder from them doing the recall. That's
solder. Is this that's interesting.
Yep, so that's all of the recall.
Okay.
This recall when you're cutting out the
Gotcha.
recall. So since this one's already been done, it's a little bit easier since we won't be
Having to cut the
starting
harness.
from scratch basically.
Okay,
So get power wire.
This is not a me one. Tyler knows how to do it and can do it like he's like, get out of my way, I've got 3 minutes to get this done.
At the dealership it pays us 7/10 of an hour to do.
7/10 of an hour.
That's what you get.
Wow.
So
Crazy. So that was the main power wire to
yeah,
that?
that's
Okay.
the
Pulling that one.
the new power feed to the relay. So
Okay. And then this lug is the power into the fuse
that is the
bus.
power into the TIPM. Yep.
Okay.
So
Makes sense.
and I've learned that you put the lid back on.
So it
when
doesn't
when you
get
lift that
energized?
up, you arc and spark it, and it does bad things. So
That does check out. And the jump lug is right there too. So,
correct. Yeah. Because when you lean it like that and it grounds out, it's a thing.
Hey man, welding's cool.
Only when you want to. Right?
Right. Coming to America, the story of a Dodge Durango
Coming back home.
coming back to America. What's the prince's name? I can't think of the prince's name. So these nifty cam lock connectors here all get to come apart.
Yep. And you can do it all leaving it together and just knowing which wires to get into, but you can make it a little bit nicer taking a little bit more time and
you can see they
taking
did
it apart.
too.
Yeah, you can see
they did it.
You're tagging into a wire here. Here's the original. This
giant blue orange
yep, the
wire.
giant blue wire is your power feed back to the fuel pump.
Okay. That is a lot of electrical tape.
There's a lot going on.
That's because there's no heat shrink. Boom. Old recall out. I assume this is pretty big, like a 15 amp, something like that.
I can't remember what it is.
It's pretty hard to one hand.
20 amp.
20
yeah.
amp.
Yep.
Wow.
The new COVID variant?
The Omicron? Oh no! Oh, we got the Omicron relay. Get it out of here. Man, they give you everything.
You got
Wow, that is fancy.
You got a little cover on it.
What an upgrade.
But they couldn't put the relay in.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to do that yourself.
That would have been an extra step there. So, does this have the part number? Let's see. I don't know if that's the part number they were giving me, but we've got 04727370AA, and the next line is 50732, and that's probably a data manufacturer or something. I don't know. 1143B3. It doesn't say Omron. I mean, this is a weatherproof relay. You saw it's got the sealed base and everything. This is what I use on everything we do. Hasn't failed me yet. You gonna check the air filter?
Yep, this is what I know how to do.
That looks really clean though. It's a
Usable.
yeah, it's a baby recommend replacement. I don't know.
I mean, if I'm a Jiffy Lube, I'm definitely bringing that to the lobby.
Do you see this? I'm just guessing. Your engine's got 2 to 3 months to live based on this air filter. You're gonna need to replace that at a cost of $50.
No, you can't call your husband. This can't wait.
This
has to be done right now.
It's an emergency for your car's health.
What's all this paint pen crap about?
Those are torque marks, man. This went to Germany.
Torque to that?
Yeah, you gotta torque the plastic together. That's how you know that this little zip tie fastener on the bolt there was torqued.
Pressed on.
It was
with the
pressed on with the correct torque.
appropriate amount of.
Maybe this is like an inspection going into the country because every single line is paint penned. Even all the evap there is paint penned.
Yeah.
I honestly have no idea why that would have ever happened. This ground is paint penned. And they're not like paint penned across like you would.
It doesn't look very Mopar.
It sure doesn't.
I don't know.
Look at this, the hood latch. I don't think I've ever seen that marked.
Got all the makings of U.S. Customs.
Oh, it kind of does too. Maybe this was checked for drugs on the way back in.
No drugs in there.
No drugs.
Nope, no drugs right there. It's got like a bingo marker. Just checked it.
The guy got paid per paint mark.
He did. Every line on the ABS module is paint penned. The radiator hoses are paint penned.
They didn't inspect anything hard to get to or critical.
Yeah.
They were like, I can't get my hand in
Air
there.
conditioning?
Looks fine.
Drugs.
No drugs.
All right, so it's got little copper crimps here.
Yeah, so Mopar has these little, kind of copper crimp things that
Fold over on themselves.
fold over. They want you to use for some positive, connection.
Well, mechanical crimping is better than soldering every time.
But they also want you to put
solder on it
run
too?
some solder. So it's
Interesting. I like your style. Straight to the flame. Let's see if this wire can take the heat. Nice. If this ever fails, I'm gonna guess this entire Durango is falling apart at that point.
And now the best part about this is the Mopar heat shrink, because it's not just normal heat shrink. There's actually glue inside.
Oh
so
yeah, you gotta have that heat shrink.
Oof,
Yeah, the watertight
it's
heat
the
shrink
best,
is
yes.
awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, we use that on all of our crimp connectors now. There's that nice glue squeeze out. Wow, there is not a lot of wire.
Yeah,
to
they
grab.
cut that one kind of short.
Definitely. Like, yeah, you just have the color code memorized.
Well,
Black too.
Mopar is very
it is.
helpful
It
for
is
us
brown to brown.
dumb technicians. We're blue to blue, brown to brown, and pink to pink. So
Okay.
even us dumb technicians can even wire up a recall.
I like it.
That's part of Mopar's like tech motto. They make crimping easy.
Make crimping easy. These are ratcheting. I need a pair of these. I don't have that. ratchet and crimpers for the win.
These
I have
are,
these for Ethernet cables, but not for...
These are unobtainium. This part number was a good Mopar
Oh.
Miller part number. No longer. Can't find them anywhere.
Wow.
No parts, no tool trucks. Nobody has these.
Huh.
So,
Man,
they're awesome. They work great, but you cannot find them in the world.
I like it. Made in USA. Well, I thought we were going to give you guys like a wiring diagram, so you could be like, you know, yellow goes to black or something like that, but they really did make this easy with brown to brown, pink to pink, and blue to blue. And put the one with the terminal back on the lug, and you're pretty good to go here. So this is awesome.
Because yeah, most of them at this point should have probably already had the old relay on it.
Yeah. And even it is the same color code. Like
and the nice thing is if you already have this installed and you can't get to the dealer for the new one and your vehicle is having those issues, you can just replace the
swap the relay.
Right,
and
and we've done that when we don't have the parts available. You can just swap the relay and get the thing moving again. If parts are unavailable, it's
really just a normal.
It's a normal relay with a kind of cool lid on it that has
Absolutely.
a little bracket. But a normal relay will go in there and at least get your fuel pump working again, because the wiring doesn't ever go bad. It's just the relay part. So
there must be like a crazy amount of current running through this to keep killing relays or something like that. The pink wire is definitely a three-hand job there. We had extra help on hand, especially getting the heat shrink on those two wires at once. It really does take you less than 0.7 of an hour, huh?
Yeah, it's not too bad when you're...
Tip them going home here. Boom, locked in. And then, does this have like a tab that
There's
on?
a hole.
Oh
Another
man,
bracket.
that's legit. We got a stamped metal bracket. Interesting. What are you doing over there? Nice. There's the new bracket with the relay enclosure there, and all that's left is throwing that guy on. This is pretty sweet. Will it blend?
Will it start?
Yep. Hey, here's the test. It's gonna start. Definitely gonna start. I mean, it was gonna start no matter what. It just would have died in 2 seconds.
That's true.
Yeah.
You could have fixed that and edit. Right?
Yeah, I would have just totally glossed over it. Yeah. Okay, now I gotta mount that resistor for the LEDs, and then we're good. Okay, everything's wrapped up under the hood. Obviously, we tested it. It started right up, and now our LED resistor there is mounted as well. I just used a little self-tapper, made sure there was nothing behind it. So we should be good to go. We can close the hood. We're gonna go drive this thing. Also, this hood strut's bad.
Oh, Turo's not gonna like that.
Well, now it belongs to me officially. So.
You killed it.
Yeah, as long as the hood strut's bad, we're all good here. So I gotta order that, and I gotta order the back one, which we noticed in the last video was a little bit weak. Now that we've got everything knocked out on the Durango, we're gonna take it out for a quick drive, let Tyler drive it, and see what he thinks. We have decided the ticking is probably the exhaust manifold. Broken bolts there, so that's just gonna stay because after a couple minutes it seals right up. So in the video I mentioned that the tires were extremely loud, and there were a lot of comments where people were like, wheel bearing for sure. And Tyler said the wheel bearings are really common failures on these.
Yep.
I mean, it happens. So we took it out and kind of sent the vehicle back and forth down the road.
Yeah, load it side to side, and it doesn't really change. That's normally the kind of easy indication whether you've got wheel bearings. You can kind of load it side to side and get them to change tone, get louder, quieter. This is pretty even side to side. So
pretty even. We thought we heard a blip, but then the more we drove it, like it might have just been playing tricks on us. But there is a driveline vibration, and Tyler thinks it's the carrier on, it's a 2-piece drive shaft. So it could definitely be that, and that makes me extremely happy because I was worried the more we talked about this problem, I was like, it's gonna need a transfer case. It's gonna be crazy expensive, but no big deal if it's a drive shaft.
I think it's a drive shaft.
Cool. And the best part is it probably won't fail catastrophically. It'll just get worse and worse.
Yep, absolutely.
So, awesome. Well, the Durango's doing great again. It's back on the road, and we put a few more miles on it, just kind of testing it out. And I don't know, I'm much more confident in this thing now. Well, really confident compared to where I was. So thanks, Tyler.
For sure.
Knocked it out of the park. Next, we get to change the transfer case fluid on my Cayenne. Not me. because apparently those things pull moisture into their transfer case and it contaminates the clutches and destroys them.
That's not a good thing.
That sounds bad. So that's what I get to work on tomorrow, I think. Durango's fixed. Got to get the Cayenne perfect. It's listed on Turo now, and the Dart is in another state. It's been rented out for a while. Oh, we're gonna do the valve covers on that.
Yeah.
That was supposed to happen today. Oh well. That is how you do the fuel pump relay recall, which obviously most of you guys will be just going to your dealer and letting them do it. But there's plenty of people that don't have easy access to a dealer. Like my dealer is 7 minutes from the house or something like that. Where Tyler works actually. There are definitely people that are 4 or 5 hours away from their dealership and they need their car to run. That's why you guys might want to see how to do this. So that's how you do it. And we kind of went through everything else, and I'm pretty confident this thing will be good to go for a long time. So thanks, Tyler. And I'll throw a link to his channel below. It's Tyler Potter. Does a lot of CDJR.
Yeah.
And that is it for today, guys. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjrgo.com where you can get cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. It's green! It's army green now. Not just green. We have so much more history. It's crazy. This thing's been around the world. And it's probably going to keep going around the U.S. all over at least.
Yeah.
So.
Recalls in Germany, recalls in Kansas.
Oh, everything.
From New York.
It gets done.
Is this a VinWiki episode?
It could be. It could be. We need to figure out who owned it and what they were doing in the service and why they wanted to take a Durango instead of buying a Mercedes while they were over there.
And did they smuggle anything back?
Well, we have found that it looks like customs has been all through this car. So they were really worried about it.